Everyone says Andre Dupont was just the angriest player whose career ended in downfall, but the real reason behind what people call his downfall isn't what you think. The truth is, Andre Moose Dupont wasn't just a feared enforcer who racked up nearly 2,000 penalty minutes. He was an elite MVP-caliber defenseman whose toughness was actually a strategic part of his championship-winning skill set. His so-called downfall was really the physical sacrifice of a complete hockey professional who gave everything for 2 Stanley Cup victories. Born on July 27, 1949 in Trois-Rivières, Quebec, Dupont's reputation for intimidation started early. During the 1966-67 season with the Trois-Rivières Leafs, he racked up a staggering 310 penalty minutes in just 45 games, leading the entire Quebec Junior Hockey League. But here's what makes him different from other enforcers. He was also named to the QJHL second All-Star team for the 1967-68 season. This wasn't just some goon throwing punches. This was a skilled player who happened to be the toughest guy on the ice. His junior career peaked when he was traded to the prestigious Montreal Junior Canadiens in 1968. Playing for this legendary franchise, Dupont helped lead them to the 1969 Memorial Cup championship. During that playoff run, he led the Ontario Hockey Association with 76 penalty minutes while also being a key defensive contributor to a championship team. This combination of elite skill and physical dominance caught the attention of NHL scouts, and the New York Rangers selected him with the 8th overall pick in the first round of the 1969 NHL Amateur Draft. What most people don't know is that Dupont entered professional hockey overweight, playing at nearly 250 pounds. Instead of just bulking up more, he took an unconventional approach that showed his dedication to excellence. He used yoga as a key part of his training routine, which was almost unheard of for hockey players in the late 1960s. This disciplined approach allowed him to drop 40 pounds and reach his optimal playing weight of around 200 pounds. If you're enjoying this deep dive into hockey history, make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments what other legendary players you'd like to hear about. After being drafted, Dupont was sent to the Rangers' top minor league team, the Omaha Knights of the Central Hockey League. This is where he proved he was far more than just an enforcer. In his first season, 1969-70, he led the Knights to a championship while earning the Ken McKenzie Trophy as the league's Rookie of the Year and making the second All-Star team. He accomplished this while leading the playoffs with 75 penalty minutes, showing he could dominate both with skill and intimidation. The following season was even more remarkable. Dupont again led Omaha to a championship, but his individual awards were staggering. He made the first All-Star team, won the award for Most Outstanding Defenseman, and was co-winner of the Tommy Ivan Trophy as the league's most valuable player. He achieved all this while leading the entire CHL with 308 penalty minutes during the regular season. Think about that. He was simultaneously the league's MVP and its most penalized player. This perfectly captures what made Dupont special. Dupont made his NHL debut with the New York Rangers on February 28, 1971. But his time there was brief. He was traded to the St. Louis Blues in November 1971 and then traded again to the Philadelphia Flyers on December 14, 1972. This move to Philadelphia changed everything because it wasn't a random trade. Flyers head coach Fred Shero specifically requested Dupont because he had coached him during that dominant MVP season in Omaha. Shero knew firsthand that Dupont could be an elite contributor within a system designed to use his physicality strategically. During his early NHL career, Dupont suffered a serious concussion in the 1971-72 season that forced him to start wearing a helmet for the rest of his career, at a time when helmets weren't mandatory and many veterans refused to wear them. This was a notable choice that showed the physical risks of his playing style. When Dupont arrived in Philadelphia in December 1972, he became a cornerstone of what would become the legendary Broad Street Bullies. Over the next 8 seasons, he wasn't just a participant in their success. He was a keystone in their defensive structure and a primary agent of their intimidating identity. Here's the most important thing people miss about Dupont's career: his statistical paradox. Over his 13-year NHL career, he posted a remarkable plus-minus rating of plus 302. During the Flyers' championship years, his numbers were extraordinary, reaching plus 41 in both 1974-75 and 1975-76, and peaking at an incredible plus 58 in 1976-77. Let me explain why this is so significant. A player who spends hundreds of minutes in the penalty box is off the ice and unable to help his team for the equivalent of several full games. Logically, such a player would struggle to maintain a positive plus-minus rating. Dupont's ability to post some of the best numbers in the league means that when he was on the ice at even strength, his defensive impact was so overwhelmingly positive that it completely made up for all his time in the penalty box. His defensive skills were recognized officially too. During the first Stanley Cup season in 1973-74, he formed a dominant pairing with veteran Barry Ashby. In 1975-76, he won the Barry Ashby Trophy as the Flyers' most outstanding defenseman and was selected to represent Philadelphia in the NHL All-Star Game. But Dupont never forgot his role as a physical deterrent. His penalty totals with the Flyers were consistently among the league's highest, peaking at 276 minutes in the 1974-75 season. He was a frequent fighter who used his intimidation to protect skilled teammates like Bobby Clarke and create a psychological advantage before games even started. The moment that perfectly captures Dupont's value came in the 1974 Stanley Cup final against the heavily favored Boston Bruins. The Flyers, an expansion-era team, had never won a game in the historic Boston Garden. Trailing 1-0 in the series and down 2-1 late in Game 2, their championship hopes were fading fast. With goaltender Bernie Parent pulled for an extra attacker and just 52 seconds left in regulation, Dupont found himself in the offensive zone. He fired a shot from the slot that beat Boston's Gilles Gilbert to tie the game. The Flyers went on to win in overtime, seizing the momentum they needed to capture their first Stanley Cup. This goal is consistently cited by historians as one of the most important in franchise history. It was more than just a clutch score. It was proof that the Bullies' system of combining skill and aggression could defeat an Original Six powerhouse. For one of the team's primary enforcers to make a high-skill offensive play at the most critical moment perfectly fused their two identities. Dupont's contributions continued throughout those playoffs, as he scored 4 goals, the most by any defenseman in the 1974 postseason. The 1974-75 season showed his incredible versatility when he recorded career-best offensive numbers with 11 goals and 32 points, while simultaneously posting his career high in penalty minutes with 276. His increased physical play didn't hurt his offensive contributions. They happened together during his most effective season. Over his career, Dupont played in 810 regular season NHL games, recording 59 goals and 244 points, alongside his 1,986 penalty minutes. He was also a reliable playoff performer, appearing in 140 postseason games and scoring 14 goals with 32 points. Following 8 transformative seasons in Philadelphia, Dupont's career entered its final phase when he was traded to the Quebec Nordiques on September 15, 1980. In Quebec, his role evolved from championship contributor to veteran leader. The respect he commanded throughout the league was formally recognized on December 31, 1981, when he was named captain of the Nordiques, a position he held through the 1981-82 season. This captain's appointment proves that his value extended far beyond the unique culture of the Flyers. He was seen as a respected leader in his own right, not just a product of Philadelphia's system. Here's where we get to the real story behind his downfall. Dupont's final seasons were increasingly hampered by the cumulative effect of his physically demanding playing style. He had begun suffering from back problems late in his Philadelphia tenure, and these issues persisted in Quebec. He missed significant portions of both the 1980-81 and 1982-83 seasons due to recurring back injuries. The very style of play that made him a champion, the hard hits, frequent fights, and relentless physical engagement, ultimately took a heavy toll on his body. After a 13-season career, Andre Dupont played his final NHL game on April 10, 1983, and officially retired 9 days later on April 19th. But this isn't a story of failure or scandal. This is the story of a complete professional whose body broke down from the noble sacrifice of championship-level hockey. After retirement, Dupont remained deeply involved in the sport, becoming head coach of the Trois-Rivières Draveurs in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. He later worked as an amateur scout for the Ottawa Senators and joined a sports management company as a scout and development counselor, mentoring young players. These post-playing career choices show a lifelong dedication to hockey and reveal a professional whose knowledge of the game was as sharp as his elbows ever were. His career serves as the perfect example of an era when intimidation was a science, and the most effective enforcers were also exceptional hockey players. Andre Moose Dupont's legacy isn't found just in penalty boxes or old fight footage. It's written in his remarkable plus-minus numbers, his clutch performances, his all-star selections, and his championship rings. He was a complete hockey professional, a junior champion, minor league MVP, Stanley Cup winning defenseman, respected team captain, and later a coach and mentor. So if you enjoyed learning the real story behind one of hockey's most misunderstood players, hit that subscribe button and share this video with any hockey fans who think they know the Broad Street Bullies. Because the truth is, they couldn't have reached their championship peak without the unique and invaluable presence of Andre Moose Dupont, the defenseman who was both the hammer and the anvil of a legendary team.